All right, 6 days until the NFL draft. Spoke to a source last night, and I said, what do you have for me? And he said, at first I thought that Michael Penix and Bo Nix would not be in the first round. I said, okay, that's information. And then he says, but the more research I do, the more people I talk to, we're probably having 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round. And that means that Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix are moving on up. And that's how he described this. He said, your first 4, they're probably going to be the first 4, depending on if somebody trades, somebody gets squirrely, somebody moves up. But he thinks that those 4 quarterbacks are going to be taken probably in the first 4 picks. So then my source said, the Raiders, you got to consider them with Michael Penix. Do the Rams want to move up? Denver, what do they do? So Bo Nix and Michael Penix, according to a source, not initially in his first round. But he said after talking to some people, I truly believe there's going to be 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Sean Payton, Broncos head coach, talked about taking the right quarterback.
You'd say, man, it sure looks like we have to draft a quarterback, and yet it's got to be the right fit, the right one. And if we had the tip sheets as to who everyone else was taking, it'd be easier to answer that question. And so that's the puzzle here.
I've been saying this for a long, long time. Don't take a quarterback, take the quarterback for you. And that's what Sean Payton is saying. GMs make this mistake. And sometimes what happens is nobody's telling you the truth for the most part, or at least publicly. Now, privately, you might get some indications here. Like, we like him if he's there. And you'll hear GMs or you'll hear fellow scouts that they'll couch things. If he's there. Well, even if he's there, that doesn't mean you're taking him. But, trying to work your way through the smoke screens is the interesting part 6 days out from the NFL draft. Stat of the day brought to you by Panini America, the official trading cards of the Dan Patrick Show. Great reaction to the merchandise at danpatrick.com. A lot of new T-shirts there. C's Get Degrees T-shirt. I'm trying my best. Head cover for your driver and a lot more. Make sure you check it out at danpatrick.com. Most home break-ins happen in broad daylight. As the days get longer this spring, protect your home with Simply Safe. Award-winning home security. I use it. I recommend it. Get 20% off any new system at simplysafedan.com. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Play-in action tonight. The Bulls at the Heat. Kings at the Pelicans. According to DraftKings, I've got the Bulls getting 1.5 against Miami. Miami without Jimmy Butler. And I've got the Kings giving 1.5 to the Pelicans in New Orleans. So those are the play-in games. And the odds in the Eastern Conference, the imbalance in the Eastern Conference, the Celtics are overwhelming favorites. Then it's the Sixers. The Sixers were in the play-in game. Now they meet the number 2 Knicks, and they're the second favorite odds-wise. Then it's the Bucks. Then it's the Knicks, Cavs, Pacers, and that's your East, the imbalance of the Eastern Conference. Yes, Seton.
The Celtics have been in first place all season.
Yeah, for years it feels like.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
But this is one of those, and we've talked about that, this phenomenon of we don't care what you do during the regular season. You're one of those teams that we look at and go, what'd you do in the postseason? Dallas Cowboys, hey, 13 wins. What are you going to do in the postseason? The Celtics, hey, great regular season. What are you going to do in the postseason? And we've seen that more and more. Buffalo Bills, yeah, okay, great regular season. What are you going to do in the playoffs? And that's where we are, certainly with the Boston Celtics. It feels like there's no excuse for them to not make it to the NBA Finals. The question is, how many games will it take you to get there? How many losses would Boston have before they get to the NBA Finals? I can't see too many. I mean, that's a really good team, and the East is all banged up right now. The West, that's where it's going to be a little more challenging here. And I give the Lakers a puncher's chance here. It's not one of those where, and it feels like everybody said the same. Oh, Lakers, no chance. Well, you do have a chance. I mean, you got LeBron and AD. You know a team that doesn't have a chance? The Warriors. They don't have a chance.
Actually true.
They're out. Here's Steve Kerr talking about the Golden State Warriors moving forward.
I think we can put together a very good team.
and start to transition, towards the next era, because it's clearly in our sights. But at the same time, Steph and Draymond and Klay and Chris, they're all still very good players. But as we are right now, we're not a championship team. We know that. We're not even in the playoffs, so we can't say we're a title contender.
That's Golden State's head coach Steve Kerr on KNBR. Well, it's non-committal. It's like everybody said the right thing after they lost. Steph saying, yeah, we want to have Klay back. Draymond, hey, we want to have Klay back. Okay. Do you really feel that? And at what price? There has to be an asterisk by this. Hey, we'd love to have him back, but everybody has to say the right thing. Steve Kerr can't come out and say, you know what? Klay is really falling off a cliff. Or Klay, Steph comes out and says something, or Draymond. They've sprinkled in some younger players. So they could probably put it all back in the blender one more time, which is what I would do. I think this is an organization that's been very fair to the players. When Klay went out with the injury, they extended him. They kept Draymond through all of his nonsense. They paid Steph. The James Wiseman draft pick was terrible, but they have made some pretty good picks. I'd keep it together. I'd have one more run with this, and I'd bring Klay back for 2 more years. But it's not my money, not my team, and I don't have to worry about the luxury tax. But until you see some concrete evidence of they truly want Klay Thompson back, and look, I think he can still be a contributor. He's not the second best player on your team. And I think you can be fair to him. You want him to retire a Golden State Warrior. You want Draymond to retire. I get it. And this is what, franchises have to deal with all the time. When you have something special, how long do you wait? Can you wait? Or do you just ride it out and say, let's be fair to those players? I've seen it both ways. I've seen it work both ways. But with Golden State, I would keep Klay. I would bring him back. Draymond, hopefully you get a chance to talk to him so he doesn't go crazy again and do stupid things again. Steve Kerr's got a lot of work ahead of him to be able to figure this out. What role? Because Klay didn't go quietly to the bench. He went kind of pouting. Now you got to say to Klay, you're not a starter on this team, but you're a contributor on this team. Draymond may not be a starter, but you're a contributor. Are you all in? But that would be the approach I would have with Golden State. Yeah, Paul.
I could see the Warriors management being a little harsh with Klay Thompson, saying, look, we're going to need you to take a big haircut here. We're going to give you 2 years at a very low price, or you could test the market, which I don't think he would like to do. He played 2 years for them. I should say he didn't play 2 years for them, and he got his full salary. They paid him $80 million to not touch the ball for 2 years. They've been more than fair to him. I know injuries happen, but this guy has been well taken care of by that franchise. I would be a little terse with him.
Well, I would just give him a dose of reality.
Yeah.
To say, this is what I said this before. I would go to Steph Curry. I'd say, Steph, me and you, let's talk. What do you want? You tell me, what do you want? Or what do you not want? And it stays between us, just you and me. Let's talk about this. Because as we move forward, I want you happy. You're the franchise. And I want you to help me make decisions that make this better for you. You want Klay back? You want Klay back at this price? Do you want us to try to entertain a trade for Draymond? Who would you like to see us bring in? Those would be hard questions I would ask Steph Curry. I'd give him the ultimate respect of saying, here you go. You're going to help me be a GM here.